Chelsea goes into the international break with a bang, beating the Premier League champion at the Stamford Bridge. Moisés Caicedo masterclass to Estêvão announcing himself to the world, as well as the 5 things we learned from Chelsea 2, Liverpool 1. But before we dive into it, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. But if you have been following me for a while, you know the drills. We're on the road to 10k subscribers, so make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive into it. And today we did a Liverpool, a team that makes living off last minute dramas this season. A team that has broken hearts in stoppage time again and again. This time we flipped the script. We snatched it and we took the moment. And we made Stamford Bridge a rot. It's not just a win, it's a statement. Liverpool coming in as reigning champion, desperate to stop the bleeding after 2 straight defeats. And for 90 minutes they fought like wounded giants. But in the end, it was our young star boy William Estêvão who wrote his name in Premier League history. 18 years old slide in to bury the win in added time. And that right there is the birth of a superstar in blue. Let's be real, Liverpool actually edged the XG 2.08 to our 1.13. But football isn't played on spreadsheets, it's played on moments. And our moments were made massive. That Caicedo rocket from distance, outrageous. A thunderbolt. That's leadership. That's belief. And when it mattered most, we didn't fold. We didn't panic. We controlled the game. We kept the ball. And we made them chase shadows for spells. And honestly, what made it sweeter is the context. Liverpool have now lost 3 matches in a row. Slot experiment shaking. The aura fading away. And you know what? This win didn't just mean everything for us. We changed the entire top of the table. So Arsenal fans will be thanking Chelsea fans tonight. We have handed them the lead heading into the international break. But make no mistake, we didn't just do it for anyone else. We did it for us. We did it to show that Maresca Chelsea aren't a project anymore. We're a problem. And with young killers like Estêvão waiting in the league, this might just be the start of something terrifying for the league. Which brings me to the first thing. Maresca is a miracle worker. Let's be honest. When that lineup dropped, none of us was brimming with confidence. A lineup of Sanchez, Gusto, Achampong, Badiashile, Cucurella, James, Caicedo, Enzo, Neto, Garnacho and Drapedo. And then you hear Maresca say, Cole is out, Trev is suspended, 7 or 8 players still unavailable. At that point, it felt like we are walking into a storm with half a squad. But somehow Maresca finds a way. You can call him what he is now. A miracle worker. He beat the reigning champion of the Premier League, the same Liverpool side that people couldn't handle. He did it with a patched up lineup, a teenage centre back, and players playing out of position. That's not luck, that's tactical genius and belief. But speaking of miracle workers, let's talk about Alejandro Garnacho. Yes, the rating says 6.9, but that doesn't tell the full story. He was electric, unpredictable, and master of chaos. In 75 minutes, he had 35 touches, 95 pass accuracy, and even hit the posts. Every time he picked the ball, Liverpool backline backed off. He was our best outlet and our most dangerous player, constantly asking the Liverpool backline questions. Then the right hand side, Pedro Neto, a quieter night, statistically with 6.4 rating, that's 3 touches, 93 accuracy, but the value of his performance was in his discipline. He tracked back, doubled up with James, and help shut down Liverpool's overload. Sometimes your winger doesn't need to be flashy. Sometimes you just need to fight, and Neto did exactly that. So yeah, call it what you want. Luck, fortune, whatever. But this is a tactical miracle from Maresca. Because with that squad, against Liverpool side, at that intensity, to come away with 3 points, that's special. Which brings me to the second thing we learned. Defensive improvements. Now, if the first thing we learn is about Maresca tactical miracle, then the second thing is about resilience. Because in a match where we had no Fofana, no Tosin, no Chaluba, and you expect that backline to come against a Liverpool side full of movement and energy. But what we saw instead, a defensive masterclass. We lined up Badiashile and Achampong at centre back, a pairing that hasn't played together much. Yet they were calm, composed, and brave in every duel. Even when both went off injured, the structure didn't fall apart. The team adapted, and that's the mentality. Let's talk about numbers, because they tell the story well better than words sometimes. Badiashile dropped a rating of 7.6 in just 55 minutes, 1 clearance, 1 shot block, 2 interception, 1 tackle, 0 time dribbled past, 4 out of 6 accurate long balls, won his only ground duels. He was aggressive where he needed to step up, composed where he needed to recycle play. Before the injury, he was controlling Isak runs, giving Achampong the confidence to step into midfield. That's leadership, even in half a game. And speaking of leadership, Rhys James, my captain, the man was everywhere. Started at right back and ended at centre back and still busted. Dropped a 7.2 rating across the full 90. And listen to this: 2 clearance, 1 shot block, 2 interception, 5 tackle, 83 touches, 82 pass accuracy, 2 key passes, 6 out of 7 ground duel ones, 3 out of 2 ground duel ones. No Chelsea player had more touches, 83, won more duels, 8, made more tackles, 5, or more interception, 2 against Liverpool than Rhys James. And he did it while switching position mid-game. That's not just quality, that's pure captain mentality. And then Marco Cucurella, the quiet engine on the left hand side, he dropped a massive 8.2 rating. And here is the game by numbers: 5 out of 6 duel ones, 5 clearance, 4 possession won, 3 chances created, 3 touches in the opposition box, 3 foul won, 2 tackles, 1 interception, 1 assist, and never conceded a foul. Laid it on the plate for Estêvão to win it at the depth. That's a complete performance. Defending, attacking, composure, and maturity. He looked like a man playing with absolute confidence under Maresca. So yeah, defensively we were immense. This was a massive improvement from the shaky, error-prone Chelsea we have seen in the past. Everyone fought for each other, everyone stayed switched on. And when you see Rhys James leading like that, Cucurella rocking the flanks, and young defenders stepping up with no fear, you can tell something is changing. There is belief now, there is structure, there is pride in defending in that blue shirt again. Which brings me to the third thing we learned: Caicedo, the midfield general. If the defense was the war, then this man was the heartbeat behind it all. Because right in the middle of that chaos, breaking lines, snapping into tackles, detecting tempo, was Enzo Caicedo. Let's talk about Mr. Consistency. Every week he gives you 8 out of 10 performance minimum. But against Liverpool, he took it to the next level. There has been a lot of talk lately, people hyping up Gravenberch, calling him the best defensive midfielder in the league. But on this day, at Stamford Bridge, he was watching a real midfield general run the show. Caicedo dropped an 8.0 rating, and here is how he did it. 1 goal, not just any goal, a worldie. 90 minutes played, 64 touches, 88 pass accuracy, 2 shot on target, 4 ground duel ones, 1 area duel ones, 1 clearance, 1 interception, 4 tackles. It wasn't just the numbers, it was the control. It was everywhere. Sweeping up dangers 1 minute, spraying long body next, and always offering himself as the calm outlet under pressure. But the highlight you already know, that goal. Caicedo doesn't just score tapping, he doesn't keep it simple. When he scores, it's a statement. Another thunderbolt from Rich. Clean connection, no chance for the keeper. The goal that shifted the momentum, that said we are not scared. And the crazy part, Caicedo is now Chelsea joint top goal scorer in the Premier League this season. Let that sink in. A defensive midfielder, 3 goals in 6 matches, the same number he managed in his previous 133 appearances. That's not coincidence, that's confidence, that's evaluation. His numbers by game versus Liverpool: 5 duel won, 5 times possession won, 4 tackles, 2 shots, 2 shots on target, and 1 goal. He's becoming the player we paid for, the one who dominates both phases, the one who can attack and destroy in the same breath. Caicedo didn't just win the midfield battle, he commanded it. And that's the difference between a good midfielder and a world-class one. Which brings me to the third thing we learned. William Estêvão has arrived. From one leader in midfield to another feature leader in attack. This was the night William Estêvão announced himself to the Premier League. Aged 18 years, 163 days, he's now the youngest Brazilian to ever score a winning goal in the Premier League history. Let that sink in. And he did it in stoppage time against the reigning champions. Pure theatre, Stamford Bridge erupted like it hadn't in years. That wasn't just a debut goal, that was a declaration. This kid has been talked about for months. The YouTube comps, the Brazilian Messi tag, the hype that can crush a young player before he even lands their feet. But on this night, under the lights, with the game tied 1-1 and Liverpool pushing, showed why Chelsea bought him. He dropped a 7.3 rating, but his numbers can't capture the magic he brought still. 4 take-ons attempted, 3 time possession won, 3 touches in the opposition box, 3 crosses, 2 chances created, 2 shots, 2 shots on target, 1 tackle, 1 goal. Every touch had confidence. Every dribble carried purpose. He played like someone who didn't just want to belong. He wants to dominate. And when that moment came, 93rd minute, whipped in by Cucurella, chaos in the box, and there he was, composed, clinical, sliding in like a striker twice his age. That's instinct you can't teach. All made it even better, the celebration. No over-the-top theatrics, just pure passion, chest out, arm wide, soaking it in. Stamford Bridge roared for him. It felt like a glimpse into the future and the start of something special. Let's not forget this was a Premier League debut goal against a team that have dominated English football for years. He didn't freeze, he rose. We have seen it before, young players arrive with the hype and fade away. But with Estêvão, there's something different. There's this calmness, this control, this sparks that makes you feel like he's built for big stages. And under Maresca, with the structure, the trust, the freedom, it's only the beginning. Every Chelsea fan knows the feeling. When a kid in blue steps up, and you just know he's not coming, he's here. Estêvão William has arrived. Which brings me to the last thing we learned: discipline issues. As good as the performance was, we can't ignore the one negative, which is becoming a pattern. Because all the control, the composure, the brilliance we showed, somehow, we couldn't finish the game with full discipline. We finally completed the match with 11 players on the pitch, but somehow, we couldn't entirely escape the chaos. Enzo Maresca himself, the calm, methodical manager who preaches control, was sent off in the stoppage time, picking up a second yellow after celebrating William Estêvão's goal. That makes it 4 red cards in our last 5 games between players and staffs. That's not just bad luck anymore, that's a discipline problem. It's ironic because this was one of our most matured performances of the season, tactically and mentally. We defended as a unit, managed the game well, and even snatched the winner later. But one moment out of joy from the touchline summed up where we still need to grow. Maresca's passion is what makes him great. You can see how much he cares, how emotionally collected he is to every decision. But there is a fine line between passion and recklessness. Right now, Chelsea are tiptoeing on it. Whether it's the players diving into unnecessary tackles, reacting to referees, these moments can cost us. Imagine if that red card came earlier on in the game. Imagine if we had one of our defenders instead. Fine margins define everything in this team. Discipline isn't just about cards. It's about emotional control, game management, and trust. The best team know how to channel aggression into focus. And if we are serious about challenging for titles again, we need to fix this now. The good news, Maresca knows it. You can tell he's trying to build a team that plays with intensity, but not instability. And nights like these, we manage to hold on despite the chaos, a part of the learning curves. But let's be real, 4 red cards in 5 games, that's unacceptable. We have got the talent, we have got the structure. Now we need to add discipline. Because with everything we have seen, from Caicedo leadership to Estêvão emergence, the only thing that can truly stop this Chelsea side is ourselves. So that's the video, my friend. I hope you enjoy it. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.